All right, everyone. We're here at the moment in front of the Department of Environment and Water on Weymouth Street, and we're having a little small snap action in response to yesterday's front page story at the Advertiser that you might have seen of Environment Minister David Speirs complaining about complaining about all the Greta Thunbergs in South Australia. So we have rebels here with the signs "We are Greta," and we're doing another dump. We love dumping on those fossil fools out there. So Ian is pouring out a bunch of charcoal. We've got a few journos who've rocked up as well, and camera operators, and a bit of music as well too. Of course, we are on beautiful Ghana country today. You know, we are on stolen land, the sovereignty of which was never ceded. And what you'll see is we've got a sign here that says David Speirs has shares in coal. So in question time yesterday, David was asked about his investments in coal, and he confirmed that he does indeed have shares in a coal mining company, which seems a bit strange for an environment minister, right? You think they'd be investing in our future, but no, they're investing in coal. That company is South 32, and earlier in the year in April they were fined $1,500 after a leakage of sludge into a creek in New South Wales. So if you're here and you're kind of tired of David Speirs giving us blah blah blah, then drop us a like and be sure to share as well. So you have to say an environment minister that's investing in a coal company, that's like a health minister investing in big tobacco. It cannot be acceptable. We will not accept that. And the people of the environment minister's electorate in black will not accept it either. The other obvious thing to point out is that David Speirs is the member for black. But I think today it's pretty clear that he's really the member for black coal.
I am Greta. We are Greta. And these are her words to the World Economic Forum. Our house is on fire. I am here to say our house is on fire. According to the IPCC, we are less than 10 years away from not being able to undo our mistakes. In that time, unprecedented changes in all aspects of society need to have taken place, including a reduction of our carbon emissions by at least 50%. And please note that those numbers do not include the full price tag. And on climate change, we have to acknowledge that we have failed. All political movements in their present form have failed. Shame! And the media has failed to create broad public awareness. But Homo sapiens have not quite yet failed. Yes, we are failing, but there is still time to turn things around. We can still do this. But unless we recognise the overall failures of our current systems, we most probably don't stand a chance. We are facing a disaster of unspoken suffering for enormous amounts of people. And now is not the time for speaking politely or focusing on what we can or cannot say. Now is the time to speak clearly.
Yes.
Solving the climate crisis is the greatest and most complex challenge that Homo sapiens have ever faced. The main solution, however, is so simple that even a small child can understand it. We have to stop our emissions of greenhouse gases. And either we do or we don't. You say that nothing in life is black and white, but that is a lie. A very dangerous lie. Either we prevent a 1.5 degree of warming or we don't. Either we avoid setting up that irreversible chain reaction beyond human control, or we don't. Either we choose to go on as a civilization, or we don't. That is as black and white as it gets. There are no grey areas when it comes to survival. Now we all have a choice. We can create transformational action that will safeguard the living conditions for future generations, or we can continue with our business as usual and fail. This is up to us. This is up to you and me. Some say that we should not engage in activism. Instead, we should leave everything to our politicians and just vote for a change instead. But what do we do when there is no political will? What do we do when the politics needed are nowhere in sight? Everywhere, everyone is talking about money. It seems that money and growth are our only main concerns. And since the climate crisis is a crisis that never once has been treated as a crisis, people are simply not aware of the full consequences for our everyday life. We are now at a time in history where everyone with any insight of the climate crisis that threatens our civilization and the entire biosphere must speak out. in a crisis. I want you to act as if our house is on fire. Yes. Because it is. Yes.
Okay, and for those who've just joined us, oh,
They want us divided.
They want us divided.
We won't be distracted.
We won't be distracted.
We stand together
We stand together
to tell the truth.
to tell the truth.
They want us divided.
They want us divided.
We won't be distracted.
We won't be distracted.
We stand together
We stand together
to tell the truth.
to tell the truth. Take it away.
okay. So for those who've just joined us, we're at the front of the Department of Environment and Water, and we're holding a snap action in response to some news reporting yesterday about David Speirs, the member for Black, who at a Liberal Party fundraiser on Monday said that he was tired of the Greta Thunbergs. I think what we need is more Gretas. In question time yesterday, it was also revealed that David has shares in coal as well. So we've come out because it's pretty disgraceful. We've put a bit of spray chalk down. What the? An environment minister with shares in a polluting coal company. And we've got a bunch of blah, blah, blahs that we've chalked across the pavement as well. So I've just had a speech that's been rehearsed from Greta. So, yeah. Sorry, we've just had a speech, one of Greta's speeches that we've read out, playing some music. And, yeah. Also worth pointing out that got an enthusiastic member of the public who's just come and join us, and of course everyone's welcome to join us. You know, if you're fed up of this garbage, if you don't think environment ministers should have shares in coal companies, then feel free to come out. Worth pointing out that despite David going on yesterday about Extinction Rebellion, we haven't actually had that much interest in David. We did a bit of spray chalking at his office about 2 years ago, and he's still having a bit of a sook about it now. So it's amazing, right? Just a little bit of chalk in a building 2 years ago, and he's still complaining about it. It's coming up on the front page of the Advertiser. Kind of ridiculous. Also worth pointing out that in some of the speech that David gave on Monday, there were a lot of signalling to climate denial groups as he talked about the myths around this space and climate activism. And what you'll see is a bunch of climate deniers on social media actually gravitating towards that and reposting the articles and the coverage, because they know that's a whistle to them. That's why they're doing it. And of course he was... All right, looks like we're gonna rap. So I might just rap as well. Let's have a... All right, and if you don't know, we're having a end of year celebration this Sunday. Details are on the events tab, so definitely come along. Thanks so much, everyone.